161st Street, Yankee Stadium.
Swung on a hit in the air to deep center. Gets back, away back. She is gone.
All right, welcome back to the Boys of 161st Street, episode 176. Today is January 17th, 2022. I didn't change the graphic. We haven't done this in a... We clearly have not...
roll call spelt wrong, but...
Roll call is spelled wrong, too.
It's a pun.
We haven't done this in a while.
Yeah, it is.
It wasn't supposed to be a pun, but now it is.
No. We're gonna keep it like that for the rest of the season now.
It's too much of a pain.
Well, people are going to think
it is too much of a pain to change. So... Clearly, it's been about, 2 months since we've recorded.
Roughly.
And we were on sabbatical, whatever you want to call it, from podcasting for a little bit. Mainly because there's not a goddamn thing to talk about, and it's fine. We did miss this. We sat down getting ready for this, and we were like, wow, this is fun, getting excited for baseball, and perfect timing to get excited for baseball because a lot's going on, right? There's absolutely loaded show today for you. Surprisingly, we have a lot to talk about. That was sarcastic at first, but now it's not. I wish the MLB would do something about playing baseball and show that they care. This is not really going to be a lot about, and the main reason before I let you go, the main reason we haven't done episodes is because we've done this before in the off season where we just talk about nothing and we beat a dead horse and we sit next to each other after the episode's done and be like, wow, we just talked about the same thing we talked about last week. So we didn't want to just say like, oh, the two sides are not even any much closer than they were last week. And to boot, we haven't even heard anything until...
They didn't even fucking meet till yesterday.
Yeah, they haven't... There's been nothing to talk about. Literally nothing. So, we're here, and now we're going to talk about everything that happened in the last few months. And then at the back end of this episode, if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome in. And we'll be starting our roll call episode, spelt R-O-L-L, if you want to be grammatically correct there, or spell correct, whatever you want to call that, politically correct. It is however you want to spell it, but roll calls are essentially just 15-minute mini episodes about every player
None of them
on
are
the
15
Yankees.
minutes.
None of them are usually 15 minutes. They usually go about 30 to 40 minutes because we get carried away and we have a couple beers. But that's how these go, and we're basically just going to take a look back at some of the big trends of maybe his offseason, as there hasn't really been much. How's his kid doing? Garrett Cole is the first one on the list because we don't really know who is locked into the roster, so we're going to stick with the one guy who we assume should be locked into this 2022 roster. But yeah, essentially with these episodes, they're just going to be looking back at last season and forecasting what we think is going to happen this season. And yeah, that's about it. How are the boys doing in the last 2 months? Let the people know about your lives a little bit.
We found this chair on the side of the street, and now we got a good new podcasting chair.
Very cool.
That was sick.
I found a desk on the side of the street that you guys helped me
Yeah.
bring up. That was cool, especially in a time when I had no furniture.
Aren't you getting rid of that one?
Eventually. But right now, it's holding strong. I work every day from it. Started a new job. It's,
So we started a new job, and we're fighting furniture on the street.
I started a new job too.
look at us.
It's about the update.
My aunt moved into a new apartment, and the people that left the apartment left me a picture of Mickey Mantle, Babe Ruth, Joe DiMaggio, and Lou Gehrig, and now they're on my wall.
Wow. The boys are cleaning up.
Yeah. I
The
mean,
Mickey
life's
Mantle
been
one
good for
is
2
signed,
months.
but I don't know if it's authentic or not.
Like
If it's
to be honest.
authentic, then that's cool. I need to get a new lock for my front door, if that's the case.
I think the last time we recorded, Chandler's stuff was still
MIA.
MIA.
Yeah, so a little
Yeah.
update there.
So-
Chandler moved into the city day one. That was the day he recorded. And then he went back to South Carolina to get his other stuff. But all the while, his stuff wasn't here because the moving company is a bunch of frauds. And if you're listening to this and you are, what company is it?
No, here we go. I got you. So I've actually been thinking about this all day. I was hoping this question would come up. If any of you are looking to move from the South Carolina area or anywhere on the Southeast, one, if you talk to National Express Movers, don't. And if any of you know Gene from National Express Movers, give him a personal fuck you from me. Fuck that guy. He is the worst person I've ever met at any job in the entire world. So Gene, if you're a Yankees fan, fuck you. I hope you're a Mets fan. Two, I think it's called like Rello, not Rella. Rello, LLC.
Not to be confused with.
Not to be confused with. Rello something LLC, the fucking shitbag company they paired me with, even fucking worse. Somehow Gene fucked that up even worse. So don't do either of those. If you're ever moving and that's who you get paired with,
Don't move.
No,
Don't move.
Pay the fee
Turn
they
around.
scammed you out of and just stop. Because worst experience of my life. Only like 2 things were shattered though, so that was cool.
I think all in all,
Which things
things worked out.
They shattered my floor lamp. They broke one of my cases of my signed jerseys.
Oh,
what a mistake.
Yeah, not
Who
to
was the
flip.
jersey?
So I took the jerseys out because I thought they would steal them, and it ended up being Garrett Cole's. Is the broken one.
Wow,
So
what a
that's a tough one to
good
break.
timing.
is
Well-
the jersey fine?
Jersey's fine. I kept Didi in the pristine one because obviously,
Naturally.
the heir to Derek Jeter. So he's in the pristine case. Cole's got the broken buckle on his case, but all in all, only a few shattered things. That a couple of little miscellaneous things here and there, cups. But it's not the end of the world.
We should start a petition to get Didi back. He should just honestly just show up to Yankees camp.
I'd rather have him as a manager there. And
Imagine he
I would
just
love-
showed
yeah,
up.
I was gonna
Imagine we
say,
got a
put-
poll that was big enough to get Didi to show up. The team didn't sign him, but he just straight up listened to it and just showed up to camp.
dude, he's a knight. He can be on whatever team he wants,
It's true.
You could be like player coach Reggie Dunlap.
or he can be like player owner coach Jackie Moon.
That's where I thought you were going with it, Murphy.
little 7th
Well,
inning stretch performances.
You guys
Fight a
you
bear
guys aren't
action.
hockey fans, clearly. Somebody
No.
is going to be a hockey fan.
This is
and
not
they're
a
gonna
hockey
understand
pod.
No, man. I'm from Florida. We don't have
that. Yeah, no,
ice.
it
We
is
had
an
ice-
ABA pod. Though.
Yeah, no, we had ice one time in
What?
Florida, and they shut down schools for 2 weeks. So I don't do hockey.
Speaking of moving
the
to the
ABA, semi-pro ABA.
yeah, speaking of moving to the city and coming from Florida, last thing we'll talk about on our lives, because this is the point
People
where
definitely care about it.
this is the point where either you care and keep listening, or you're like, what the fuck are these guys talking about? This is the first time I'm listening to the podcast. I'm going to drop off and never listen again. So last thing I'm going to say, you've transitioned surprisingly well to New York. I thought you were going to hate the cold, and you've
No, I
never
like
seen
the
snow
cold.
in your
That's
life.
Yes, I have.
That's not true.
It is true. I've seen snow like at least 4 times.
That's if you can
That's-
count on one hand the amount of snow. Murphy is in Canada basically, and he's never not seen snow.
Dude.
He can count on one hand the amount of times he hasn't seen snow.
And I will say, my dog
true.
likes snow. It's everything. It's turned out well. I like the snow. I've always wanted to move here because I like the snow. It's not a big deal to me. I like
Snow's
the cold.
great.
It's fucking hot.
Gotta
We're
like
getting a nor'easter, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
For those listening on Thursday, January 27th,
I
we're getting
heard
a
that
nor'easter.
term for the first time ever. Blew my fucking mind. I thought it was a joke, but I
What?
will say it's better than living in Florida like year round. Right now, it's like 92 degrees in Florida. Huge difference.
That
You get
sucks.
hurricanes in
Which
Florida.
which
Hurricanes are
word
fine.
on its own sounds scarier? Nor'easter or hurricane?
Hurricane.
Nor'easter.
Hurricane.
I
you think?
see. I thought
I don't know.
nor'easter.
I think
I
nor'easter.
legitimately, and I'm not saying this as a joke, like to sound like an asshole. Whenever I heard nor'easter, I thought it was like a friendly welcome. Like, oh yeah,
It sounds
we're
like
just
a
gonna,
no.
like,
I agree with that. It
Yeah,
sounds like
it's
it's
like,
like
yeah.
the it's like
all the
the
fellas are coming over. We're gonna have a nor'easter and a drink. Like,
It does sound like a wintry drink, like
That's-
an eggnog drink or something like
I
that.
Yeah,
I'm dead
definitely
serious.
eggnog.
I don't know.
I can make you a fire eggnog cocktail. You know what I'm
I
gonna
don't
do?
like eggnog.
I don't know the name of the cocktail that I made before the eggnog cocktail that I made. I'm gonna call it a nor'easter.
I think that's
That-
very cool.
It's a great name.
It's eggnog.
There's already a drink
eggnog-
called Hurricane.
This
Murphy
one's
works
nor'easter.
at a bar.
It's eggnog,
We could be rich.
cinnamon whiskey, amaretto, cinnamon,
you're giving away your secrets out
little
here.
whipped cream. No, I want the people to start making nor'easters. All right, back to the Yankees. It's 10 minutes into the podcast, and we haven't said anything about, which is fine because we had to give people a little life update. We're back. Feels good to be back. Much needed rest. But first thing that I wanted to talk about today, I even put on this list for bullet points to talk about life updates. So check. Next, Hall of Fame just happened. And I know a lot of people have gripes. Gripe alert. I don't have the button, but I'm going to preload the button, and that's episode 2 of getting back into it. Putting the gripe alert button
Baby
and
steps.
the proper buttons into the button slots over there. But I could say it myself. Gripe alert. I know a lot of people have gripes with the Hall of Fame. The only person to get in is David Ortiz. All of the steroid men did not get in, which I personally am not happy about because now they cannot get in for those that live under a rock. They have been on the ballot for 10 years, and now they are no longer going to have a chance to get on the ballot. They are not Hall of Famers ever. So that them being obviously Barry Bonds and
Kurt Schilling,
Kurt
Roger
Schilling,
Clemens,
Roger Clemens, those guys. Those are the main guys that.
Sammy Sosa.
Well, Sammy
Yeah,
Sosa
Sammy
was a little
Sosa-
lagging behind though, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
know,
why?
but it's
I don't
Yeah, but if he
understand
gets
why.
in and Barry Bonds doesn't get in, that's
the
fucking
top two that were
ridiculous.
basically neck and neck was
A-Rod.
Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens, and those
But if
two.
you're gonna let
They're
Barry
outside.
Bonds in, you gotta let Sammy Sosa in.
Agreed.
Well, the thing is, let's say they had like 5 more
vice
years on the
versa.
ballot. If those two
Right.
got in first because they were so close, then that opens the floodgates for the rest, and then they'll probably get a fair shot. But now that that never happened, now that Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens never got in, anybody who did steroids is never going to get in. So,
well, that's bullshit because David Ortiz did steroids and got in.
but he didn't like get caught.
Yes, he
caught.
did.
So
He
here's-
was listed
no,
in
so-
the same
no, so
report as
here-
A-Rod.
So here's the thing about that. Roger Clemens, tied to steroids, kind of a dick. Barry Bonds, tied to steroids, kind of a dick. A-Rod, tied to steroids, kind of a dick. Ortiz, tied to steroids, super nice guy, gets in the Hall of Fame.
It's who's nice gets in.
On first
You can
ballot.
do
too.
steroids
First fucking
on the first
ballot. That's a
ballot. As
DH.
somebody tweeted that out. I wish I could like give the right
I
credit
just-
to that.
Can
but
someone
that was
correct me?
just spot
Can
on.
someone correct me on this? Because I saw this on Twitter. I don't know if it was real or not. Someone said that Ortiz actually admitted to or got caught using PEDs, and Barry Bonds never did.
Barry
Like,
Bonds never did.
obviously, Barry Bonds
Ortiz was on a. So you remember that massive report that came out in like 2000? I think it was like 13, and it had A-Rod,
Yeah, yeah.
Ortiz, everybody big. He was on that report.
Yeah.
And so here's my whole thing. I'm not saying that David Ortiz shouldn't be a Hall of Famer. He probably should be. Yeah, I mean, the only argument against it is a DH, and if you want to have that, that's a whole philosophy of baseball. But if you're going to include DHs in the Hall of Fame, David Ortiz should be in the Hall of Fame. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But that being said, you don't just get to pick and choose. You're not accurately representing the Hall of Fame if you're gonna fucking leave out A-Rod and you're leaving out Barry Bonds and you're erasing an entire era of baseball that baseball, like the commissioner's office, turned a blind eye on. And my whole thing is this too: if you're going to leave him out, fine, but at least make like a separate wing for it. Your whole goal of the Hall of Fame is to preserve the history of the game, whatever. You can't just leave out the steroid era. It's what brought brought baseball back.
Yeah, I was about to say
Because
that
you
too.
had the strike and everybody stopped watching it because like what's happening now, baseball's shooting itself in the fucking foot like they always do, and then baseball turns a blind eye to steroids because ratings pop up. If that's what happened, that's fine. And if you don't want to recognize their awards and you don't want to recognize their records, fine. But you need to make a separate wing of the Hall of Fame, and you need to put those people in it because if your whole goal is to preserve the integrity of the game and to preserve history, you need to put that in there. You've got not to brag, I have been to the Hall of Fame once, but I mean, you have like
I thought you were gonna say, not to brag, I'm in the Florida, whatever your town is, for Niceville Hall of Fame in my high school.
No, they
The
don't.
Niceville Hall of Fame.
They don't put 3-year JV players in the Niceville Hall of Fame. But I have been like, you have like Shoeless Joe Jackson and those people in the Hall of Fame, but you're leaving out the all-time hits leader,
Yeah.
Pete Rose, the
Pete Rose,
all-time
gone.
Cy Young leader,
Cy Young.
Roger Clemens. You're leaving out the all-time home runs leader in Barry Bonds. How are you accurately representing the game?
You're deleting
If you leave-
history.
You're deleting history
Yeah.
because it doesn't fit your narrative. And
Right.
I don't know.
But hold on.
Here's the thing: because David Ortiz got caught, so you're picking and
Wait,
choosing.
one thing I wanted to say before you go on that same note, like you said, where would the league be without these steroid players?
be
Because they were the
non-existent.
Because that's almost the homage you have to pay to them. Is like, if they did not do steroids, the sport itself would probably not be. It still probably would be a thing, but it wouldn't be what it is today.
No,
It's a
that-
huge part
the
of history.
giant home run races, the McGuire and Sosa and
they
Bonds.
made films about it.
That's what fucking brings
McGuire
you back
and
in.
Sosa. Yeah, and another thing before I let you go, one fun stat that I'm sure you all saw was if Barry Bonds, all 756 home runs, I think it's 764 home runs that he's hit. If you turned those all into strikeouts, he would have a higher OBP than David Ortiz.
Yeah, I saw that.
But David Ortiz still had a 380 OBP,
Makes you think.
which is still like insane.
I know, but I'm
no,
just
no,
saying.
no, no. I know what you're saying. It just drives me fucking crazy. It's the Hall of Fame, not the Hall of Fame plus people who share the same beliefs plus have perfect morals. Like, it's just the Hall of Fame.
Dude,
That's it. You're recognizing greatness. Recognize greatness. Leave
So
it at that.
here's one thing though, is that I can almost understand the steroids thing for Barry Bonds and stuff. over the Pete Rose ban from baseball because Pete Rose hitting statistics stood alone without PEDs. So you could argue that the stats and the very thing that are making them in the Hall of Fame are inflated because of the PEDs. Do I think they should be in the Hall of Fame? Absolutely. I think if they had another 5 years on the ballot, they'd both be in the Hall of Fame, Clemens and Bonds, maybe Sosa. But I mean, like you're leaving out, like you said, Chandler, the greatest contact hitter of all time, the greatest all-around hitter of all time, and a top 5 pitcher of all time.
Here's the thing that drives me crazy about stuff like Bonds and Clemens and stuff is that they were playing each other. Like, yes, you're using PEDs to hit, but that guy throwing against you is also using fucking steroids.
And all the people who didn't get caught as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're all
The whole league was
using
doing
goddamn
steroids.
Everybody. At
You know what it is?
least 60%
You know what it is? It's exactly like it was with the spider tag thing. A bunch of people got caught. A bunch of people didn't. Everybody was using it, and like the playing field was even. It's just some people got caught, some people didn't, and the people that didn't get caught were juicing. Maybe not as much, or maybe they just weren't as good, and it didn't work well for them, or they didn't have a good season, so nobody put the microscope down on them, and that's why they didn't get caught. And basically the point here is the playing field was very level. So
Yeah, but also like think about it now. Like you have again, like Chandler said, it kind of brought baseball back to like life after that lockout or whatever. Let's fast forward to fucking last year or 2 years ago when they just juiced the balls to bring up the ratings. How is that different? How is juicing balls different than allowing people to take steroids? You're allowing more entertainment for the game, and that's all it is.
Well, because in the eyes of the MLB, there's nobody to be like, because that right there is a very even playing field. Like I said, there's nobody directly to say like his balls were juiced and his weren't. It's like no,
That's honestly less of a playing
no,
field
I'm just saying,
because
it's even because it's very even like that. But there's nobody you can call out specifically and say like he juiced his balls like a deflate gate type thing. It's like you can't just be like, oh, that guy has a black eye, he can't make the Hall of Fame now.
Yeah,
Everybody did it, and it was a choice that wasn't their own. It was the league, so it's not about the players. One question I have too on the same note is, now that steroid people didn't get in, do you guys think that any Astro could possibly get in? And I don't think
Yes,
I don't
they
think
don't
it's a
fucking
quick
care.
exactly.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a quick
care.
no. I don't think it's a quick no. That's why I
MLB
thought it's a
does
fun.
not care about that, and they've made that
And they
perfectly
showed
clear.
it.
No, there was zero penalty. Yeah. Oh shit. AJ Hinch got a 1 year ban. There's my slap on the wrist for being a fucking scapegoat. No, they got nothing. Nobody cares. Altuve is going to be in the Hall of Fame. Correa, if he keeps it up, he'll be borderline in the Hall of Fame.
I'm saying, like, if they have Hall of Fame
Nobody
careers,
cares.
do you think, like, if they
No.
have bona fide Hall of Fame careers, like the talent was there, obviously
Greinke?
not as much as like
Greinke is a Hall
he
of
wasn't even a part of the hitting thing.
No,
So
he wasn't there for that.
Fame. Do you think
he's
that's
like-
actually a whole separate conversation?
he's
Do you
a
think
pitcher.
Greinke's a Hall of Famer?
We'll talk
Yeah, I know
about
he's
that.
a pitcher. He's on that team. I don't know.
I'm
But
curious,
I'm
though.
saying,
I like
I'm
Greinke.
saying to you guys, if
It's close.
they have full blown Hall of Fame careers, do you think anybody would bat an eye and be like,
No.
wait, they cheated?
They don't care.
I don't think so
Nobody
because I don't
cares.
think it. I think that as long as the voting system stays as it is, where there's a set amount of writers that determine the Hall of Fame votes, then I think that there will be some Astros that go into the Hall of Fame, and there's no doubt.
Well, we just said the voting system and and everything
voting
is
system's
based on
broken.
based on how they're likable,
broken.
and those guys are not likable.
The
I
fact
know they're not likable, but they're not likable by the players. Like
I mean, I think everybody.
the media
hates them.
loves Jose.
the
Altuve.
media loves them. Like
They love the short guy underdog story that they can play every fucking year, that he's 5'2" or whatever he fucking is, and he can be a pro baseball player. The media fucking loves Jose Altuve.
If you said quick trigger response here, will one of those players be in the Hall of Fame? Go
yes, Jose Altuve will
think
be a
so,
first
yeah.
ballot Hall of Famer.
first ballot.
I
If he
disagree
keeps-
with that.
if he
I
keeps it up-
absolutely do
If
not
he
agree with
keeps
that
it
at
up,
all.
if he keeps it up for
No.
8 more years, not even that. What's he, 32 now? If he keeps it up for 5-6 more years, Jose Altuve will be first ballot Hall of Fame. He's
No way.
Well, let me put it this way: if he has
Not
first
first
ballot,
ballot.
if he has Hall of Fame numbers, his cheating will not affect it whatsoever.
I think he'll make it like third time.
No,
around.
so here's
I don't
so
think
here's
that.
the thing.
My whole point is, I
reason-
don't think that. Real quick, I don't think that the cheating is going to affect it. I think if he has the first ballot Hall of Fame resume, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's fairly on track for. If he has the resume, the cheating years that were proven aren't going to be a factor. I don't think that factors into their decision at all because nobody fucking cares. Like it was over in 6 months.
No,
I think you're wrong.
Writers don't care,
And
but players care, and
The players don't vote.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Is that players
I'm
don't
on
have
your
a
side.
say in it.
I think the writers care. I think you're discounting.
I think
The writers have shown that they're fucking frauds.
Murph, let Murphy go. Murph, what are you trying to say?
Go, Murph. Sorry.
I just disagree with like 90% of what you said. So like
Okay.
he's
No,
gonna
let
make he's good. I think he's gonna make the Hall of Fame, regardless.
Is that
of
the
cheating or not.
10%?
That's the 10% I agree with. I'm not entirely sure that he has a Hall of Fame career right now.
I don't think he does either.
You would think that anybody who wins an MVP theoretically
like-
could make the Hall of Fame. Like if you get an
Chandlers is gonna
MVP and then
do
you string together a pretty decent career after that, fine. You're probably gonna be a Hall of Famer. But he was cheating during his MVP year. So like
And
I
and
feel
World
like a
Series
lot of
year.
he's
But none
And
of
his
it
World
was
Series- one of his
discounted. He
World
got to
Series,
keep all of it.
This is, but
he got,
here's-
it doesn't matter. They know that when the
exactly.
writers know that when they're
wasn't-
voting. So
that's why I
there's going to
bring
be
the question.
30% are going to be like, fuck that. He's at least not a first ballot. Some people have the spite. I
That's
think
why
he's
I
going to get
brought up the-
30% like A-Rod did his first
Yeah.
year.
That's why I brought up the question is because, like you said, slap on the wrist and nobody gives a shit. It wasn't really taken into consideration at all after the fact. Maybe this is the part that everybody raises, like they don't raise a blind eye anymore. They're just like, yeah, you did cheat. This is the actual repercussion for that. I think they might have, I think it'll reduce votes by like 20%.
Well,
That's not astronomical, but that's a lot when it comes to getting into the Hall of Fame, when you're not a Barry Bonds type player.
Here's the thing, too.
If it was Barry Bonds and he just cheated like they did and didn't do steroids, yeah, he'll get in with probably like an 85% vote. So I don't know.
Here's the
No,
thing, too.
Barry
I
Bonds would
think
get in unanimous first ballot if he didn't do steroids. He's the best statistical hitter of all
I
time.
know. I'm saying
he was
would
the
get
best
in-
statistical hitter all time before steroids.
I'm saying with this cheating thing, I think Barry
Right.
Bonds, even with the cheating thing, I think it would still deter some votes, is what I'm saying. So I do think maybe like 10% of votes drop off. Like for Barry Bonds, let's say he's a unanimous guy. I think if he was in this scandal, 10% of people don't vote him in.
Maybe, but like here's the
I
thing
think
about
that's the
that
impact
with
of
the
the cheating
steroids
scandal.
is that the older heads that have been there for a long time, they're the ones that are voting no on him. If he had another 5 years on the ballot or 10 years, at least 10,
numbers were
if he had a
trending
fresh
down.
10, were they really? They were
They were
trending.
trending down. He lost
See, I
votes
thought
this
they were
year.
trending up.
Uh-uh.
He lost votes.
He lost
I
votes.
still think that
I
he would
don't.
have within 5 or 10 years he would have gotten it if he had another 10 years on the
I
ballot.
just...
Dude,
Because you would have had younger writers that are going through and they're voting, and I think that
What wasn't it? Was 74 or 76 home runs in his
76.
76 home runs? 73. I knew
Yeah,
it was
that's
an
what I said.
odd number. 73 home run season. He only had 140 something hits that year. So that means that every other hit was a home run.
and he
That's
still hit
awesome.
over 300 if I'm not wrong.
Can you fucking imagine that in today's game?
I saw a tweet the other
Language,
day.
Damon.
Do you remember the
No,
home-
that deserves a big
It
F bomb.
It does
Oh,
deserve
oh,
it.
yeah.
Dude, I saw a tweet the other day, and it
Fuck.
was like the fact that you guys have probably all seen the clip when he hit it out of old Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
And it's like the fact that if you go into Yankee Stadium and the opposing team, because Yankees fans are notorious assholes, we all know that. Us four are giant assholes. If you go into Yankee Stadium and a guy hits a home run on the opposing team and everybody's like, holy fuck, is cheering that on? The guy needs to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, that's the bottom line. And to the thing about Jose Altuve, he's on pace for a Hall of Fame career. I think that a big part of it is I feel like a lot of the media and a lot of baseball, the world in general, thinks that it wasn't just the Astros cheating, that it was kind of a league-wide thing and they were the scapegoat, which is what they've all claimed. But I think behind the scenes, a lot of people believe that. And I think if that is the true belief, and that's more of an underlying like theme beneath all of it, that it won't affect it.
No,
And that's kind of, I mean,
That's
that's
what steroids was.
but
and-
that's played.
I was
into-
just gonna say that's what.
but that's
steroids
played
was.
into the whole thing. It washed away in a year in the world we're in now, which is a lot different
because
than steroids.
it didn't impact the entire league for years and years and years like steroids.
It impacted
did.
the fucking league for 4 years, 3 years.
Yeah, but people don't really pay. I feel like people don't really pay attention to the longevity of the cheating scandal. It's just that the fact that they cheated.
Yeah,
I
agree.
have
He
a
had won
question.
World Series,
Do you
but-
guys think 'cause
And
a lot of
World
people
Series.
are up in arms about A-Rod? Do you guys think A-Rod should have got more votes? What percentage did he get? 30.
37.
A-Rod should get 100% of the votes, even before. Again, like Barry Bonds,
First ballot. This is his first ballot.
pre-steroids and post, but whatever.
think A-Rod will get in?
Pre-steroids, he's one of the best players of all time.
Do you think he'll get in?
No.
I think that he and Ortiz should have got in on the same ballot, and I think it should not have been the first ballot.
Well, here's the thing. The problem
I agree
with
with that,
A-Rod
Murph.
is a first ballot
Yes.
Hall of Famer. If you're gonna let steroid players in, A-Rod's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's one of the
and I
best
don't
players
think
of all
I
time.
think that I think that's where you're talking about this like separate wing of the Hall of Fame, whatever. If there's a steroid player or a cheating player, as like a little writers, agreement, don't let him in the first ballot. You can't call yourself a first ballot Hall of Famer because of your cheating scandal, because of your steroids, whatever.
See,
So let Ortiz and A-Rod second ballot, third ballot, whatever.
agreed. But and my issue with this now I know that A-Rod will not get in the Hall of Fame even after 10 tries, because now there's a precedent set for the best player of all time who did steroids to not get in. So how the hell can you say that A-Rod can get in now?
I think that this goes back to Murphy's point, though, about being a good guy and being like, I'm not saying A-Rod's a good guy. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just, before everyone
Well,
yells.
A-Rod's got everything going against him, though, because he's a bad guy and he did steroids.
But here's the thing.
Same with Barry Bonds.
A-Rod has continued to show his face around baseball, doing the announcements, doing Sunday Night Baseball. Like,
Yeah, he
he's
didn't just hide.
He's
Although
continuing to
he's-
be a face of baseball, even though he's retired. And I feel like that plays a big part, because it's just like that's what people are familiar to see. And like, he's a face. And like, if he gets denied from the Hall of Fame, everyone's gonna be, what's the A-Rod reaction gonna be on Sunday Night Baseball next time? It's like Barry Bonds went into a hole. Like, he was the hitting coach for the Marlins for like a half a year.
But he's Barry Bonds.
Well, he's Barry Bonds, but he also just kind of like disappeared.
Does it? I think you're right. I think
I'm
that-
not saying that was why he didn't
No,
get
I
in.
know.
I'm just
I
kind
think
of.
you're right. I
I'm
think that
mentioning
helps him. That helps his case a little bit. But at the end of the day, I think the big thing that the writers will sit in the room with and talk about, like we are right now, is like, we didn't let Barry Bonds in because he did steroids. Barry Bonds greater than sign A-Rod. There is no way you can. There's no way greater than sign everybody. There is no way you can let A-Rod in to the Hall of Fame if he has the same black eye that Barry Bonds did. That's point blank, because then now you, like you're saying, you're comparing them separately. You have to compare him separately as all of the steroids guys. That's why you had to let Barry Bonds in, because now not a single one of them can get in, because now you have to compare them one for one, all the steroid guys versus each other.
And if they all do get
the
in, that's
thing.
ridiculous.
If A-Rod gets in, I'd be pissed, because that means that you just enough time has passed that you can put in the steroid guys.
Do you guys
and that's
know
not even
anything
against
about-
A-Rod. It's just fucking. It's the principle of not
A-Rod
letting.
should be in, yes, but if
so
you
should
didn't
Barry
let, if you didn't
Bonds.
let Barry Bonds in, nobody else should get in.
Yeah.
Who
And the
used
Raiders kind of
steroids.
fucked themselves doing that.
Do you guys know anything about this like modern day vote that they're having? Have you seen that?
I've heard about it because
It's like,
I think it was in that documentary about the steroid era. It was like that guy who was trying to put together like a player vote, or like a more like trying to fight for some vote that's not just writers or something like that, right?
I haven't heard of it.
I don't know. I'd have to. Look
You
at
brought it up without knowing the facts.
My question to you guys now, I think this is my last thing on the Hall of Fame stuff. Mark Teixeira got 1 vote. Do you think you should deserve more?
it. I would say like 3.
3 votes?
I love Mark.
Not percent.
I will-
3 votes.
I will say this: Mark Teixeira is my favorite Yankee outside of obviously like the Derek Jeters and the big Mariano Rivera's, stuff like that. But I love Mark Teixeira. That was my first ever Yankee jersey that I owned. That wasn't a Derek Jeter jersey, a Mark Teixeira jersey. He had an amazing career, but as people like to say, he should be in the Hall of Very Good. He's not a Hall of Famer. I'm glad.
He's not a Hall of Famer.
I'm glad they made the ballot. I would have liked to see him hang around for like 2 years, but I'm happy. I'm happy.
glad he
with
got
it.
the recognition.
Yeah, he deserved to be on the ballot. Does he deserve to be in? Fuck no. But he had a very good career, and I'm totally cool with.
He had an aggressively average career.
No, he was
That's not true.
he was way above average.
It's what,
You're
that's
also
what,
on
that's
a
what
Yankees
aggressively
podcast, so
means.
put a little spice on that. A little
That's
bias.
what aggressively average is good.
Dude,
in my book.
he had like the second or third most home runs ever from a switch hitter.
Yeah, it's aggressively is aggressively good. That's what I'm saying.
You said aggressively average.
In my mind, in Damon's mind, that's what that means.
Well, in
Sorry.
my mind, aggressively average is like
All right, enough.
like you got the box of average. He's like at the top of average.
All right, I think that concludes our Hall of Fame talk.
Fuck the Hall of Fame and fuck all the writers. If any of you listen to this, you guys are
I think it
dumb.
decreased the value of the Hall of Fame. I'll say it.
So
This
in-
year completely just totally.
this
the
is a
Hall-
big year for the Hall of Fame.
The Hall of Fame has no credibility. They lost all their
I thought you were gonna
credibility
disagree
right
with me.
now. No, I'm Damon. You and I are on the same side. We have been the entire time.
Yeah, no,
The Hall of Fame lost all of its credibility this year. It's been trending downwards. When you have a guy voting against Derek Jeter, and that's not because I'm a Yankees fan, that's just I watched baseball before. When you have a guy voting against him or against Ken Griffey Jr., use that instead, a non-Yankee and an open Yankee hater, just to prove a fucking point. It shows that the voting system's broken. It's not about baseball. It's about, here's my fucking authority. Let me slap my fucking old wrinkly dick on the table to show you that I have voting power and you don't, bitch. Like, no, the voting system's broken. It was shown first King Griffey, then Jeter, and now through all this steroid era shit. I mean, the Hall of Fame has zero credibility.
So, moving on.
Can I wait? Quick question while you're on that.
Please do.
Who do you think the next unanimous Hall of Famer is going to be?
I don't think
Mike Trout?
I think it's either Trout or he's not alive yet.
Mike Trout hasn't played in like 2 years.
He don't.
I don't even think it's Trout.
I mean, he's been scandal free and the best
Yeah, but
player in
somebody's
baseball
going to
for
knock him
almost
for his
10 years.
injuries.
I guess we'll cross that bridge.
And that's why it's broken. You're right. So yeah, you're kind of right. But like, do you really think somebody's going to?
I mean, Mike Trout could end his career.
The
right now and
argument-
be a Hall of
the
Famer.
argument-
He'll be a
for
Hall
Mike
of
Trout-
Famer. He won't be unanimous.
The
So
argument why he's not unanimous is that he has been decently banged up in his career, and he didn't play for a big team, didn't make the playoffs. So it's just like you
Never
can't-
made
Yes.
the playoffs.
You're going to
That's
have
a good
10
point.
voters that are because he never won a World Series or he was never a playoff guy that are going to be those fucking pieces of shit.
I'll say something. If Shohei Ohtani continues to play like this, and
about to say
the
that.
team starts to
He
make
could
the
be another one.
playoffs, I think he can make it.
Also, the first two
Unanimous.
guys we just mentioned are on the
I
same
think
team, and
because of
they
the
still
hype
suck.
too. It's just like
Yeah.
everyone fucking loves talking about Ohtani.
That's why he won Rookie of the Year. He's great now, but that rookie year, Miguel Andujar was better.
Yep.
Yeah.
No,
He was
no,
wrong.
Look at him. Yeah, no,
Dude,
Yeah.
Ohtani could have average years on both sides of the plate for the rest of his career and make the Hall of Fame in first ballot.
Wait, hold on. I will
100%.
hold
100%.
if I'm Miguel Andujar, I am holding.
I am pissed.
No, I'm not pissed. I'm putting that on my fucking fridge. Like, I was genuinely better than
better than
Ohtani
Shohei
in my
Ohtani.
rookie year, because now Otani's gonna go on to be literally one of the best players to ever play the game if he continues to keep
I
up
was
this
so
pace.
fucking mad
And
watching
and
that.
and Andujar could be like, you could tell his kids like, yep, I had a better first year than that guy.
Yeah, yeah. While he's working at Lowe's,
He's
fucking,
gonna be the first unanimous Hall of Famer, and Miguel Andujar is gonna be literally working at like IKEA, and he'd be like, "Yep,
yeah,
see that guy?
yeah. Thank
was
you
better
for your
than him in his
purchase
first
of this
year.
3-tier shelf for $38. But also, did you know I had a higher batting average, more home runs? Every
He's gonna-
statistic, I was better than him.
He's gonna have
I
a
didn't have to
side by side breakdown of the stats on a sticker, and just everywhere I go, just like stick it on the
I
fucking
like to
order.
picture him working at like a rental car company, and you roll in
Like
there
Hertz?
to rent a car. Yeah, like Hertz, and then it's just like
Nah, I
his.
think he's more of an Avis fella.
No, he's a high class guy. He's a high class guy. He'll be like Enterprise, and you got that up on the wall, just
Yeah.
his stats next to Ohtani.
Oh, this behind me? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's me. Yeah, I was better than Ohtani for like
Isn't
half a
Enterprise?
year.
Isn't Enterprise the one that
Brendan Huff from Step Brothers.
Josh? Who's the weed guy? Football weed guy?
Josh Gordon.
Josh Gordon.
Didn't he work at Rent-A-Car for a little bit?
I have no clue.
Enterprise Rent-A-Car? Yeah, I think he did. In the Cleveland area while he was on hiatus from the league. Moving on.
Hiatus is a generous.
So Brandon Lockridge, friend of the pod, got a lot of love on Twitter recently. What was the exact caption? It was like, every
he was
Yankee
the
fan
name
should
to
be
walk
excited.
to look out for this year.
Yeah, every Yankee fan should be looking out for Brandon Lockridge.
Rightfully so.
We've been saying it. Friend of the pod. We had a fun night with him, and he's a very good friend of Chandler, and very good friend of the pod. And
Excellent guy.
so he didn't get tell the story of the baseball side of things. So he didn't get Rule 5. So where
He
does
didn't
that
get
where does that
Rule
leave him?
5 because the Rule 5 hasn't happened because of the lockout.
But he
So-
didn't get before. Didn't something happen before that?
So he didn't get put on the 40 man, which was he was one of those names. There was like 6 or 7 cusp guys. He's one of the bigger names that wasn't put on it, which obviously, as one of my good friends and just as a baseball fan in general, him not getting put on kind of sucks because he's one of the true like 80 grade speed guys out there. But
I could beat him in a race.
yeah, if he doesn't get Rule 5'd, then I think he's got a path to the big leagues at some point in 2022, even if it's in a role like Ryan Lamar or something. I think he'll get a shot just because I mean, look at our team. We have Aaron fucking Hicks as our starting center fielder going into the year. Like, come on. Like, so, and that's
So
just.
you think he has a path on the Yankees to make the majors this year?
I think he does, and that's not even if. I don't know. It's hard for me to talk about because I am biased because he's one of my good friends. But bias aside, he is a damn good player, and he is at the point in his career where it's time for him to get those looks if he's going to get them. Though this is the time to do it, and I think there's a decent chance that he gets Rule 5'd, and if you get Rule 5, you have to spend an entire year on the Major League roster or you get returned. So I think if he does get Rule 5 by a team like the Tigers or the Royals or whatever, I don't know who other people's center field situations are, but I think if he does get Rule 5, I think there's a good chance that he can stick. I mean, dude's got fucking talent everywhere. Like I said, true 80 grade speed. He's a good fielder, decent arm, good hitter. He can hit for power. But that's, and again, on the flip side of that, that's why I think if he stays on the Yankees, he's got a path to the big leagues. He's slated to start AAA. And you got him, Florial, you got Pereira, whatever the fuck his last name is. He's really good. And it's probably disrespectful for me not to know his last name, but he's not major league ready. Yeah, he's 21, 22. So you've got Locke and you've got Florial, and those are pretty much your two older AAA guys. And then who knows the outfield situation coming into it. If Gardner gets re-signed, God, I hope not. No offense to him. He's been an awesome Yankee and an awesome guy, but
I think he will, but that's neither here nor there.
I'm just saying, you got Aaron Hicks as your center fielder.
Explain to the people a little bit more, shed some more light on the Rule 5 situation, because I didn't really know that much about it, and I'm sure a lot of people listening don't really understand it. So,
I mean, the Rule 5, if you're in the minor leagues for 5 years, you can be selected in the Rule 5 draft. Guys in this class especially, Brandon's a perfect example of this, of somebody that's got kind of cucked by the COVID year and all this other stuff. So it kind of shortened his time down there. But if you get those 5 years, you can be picked up by another team, basically just stolen away for nothing. And if you get Rule 5, then you have to be put on the 26, I think it's 26 man now. So you have to be put on the 26 man, and you have to stay a whole year on that. 1 second, Murphy. Let me finish this sentence. I'll call on you immediately. I see that hand waving. So you have to stay the whole year on that 26 man. If you don't, then you can be you have to be returned to your team. So theoretically, say he's picked by the Tigers, I just say them arbitrarily every time, and like halfway through the year, they send him down to AAA. Then he's returned to the Yankees.
I don't think it's arbitrarily. I think you know something.
I don't. I just keep saying the Tigers because
I can see him being a big time starter on the Tigers.
It's easy to say Tigers because they suck. And they obviously need help everywhere, and Brand's a superstar. Yes, Murphy.
So didn't the Rule 5 already happen this year?
The minor league Rule 5 happened.
Minor league Rule.
So there's
And
a
then
difference. The minor league Rule 5, you can pick them and stash them in the minor leagues, whatever.
Got it.
The major league Rule 5 hasn't happened because of the lockout. The major league Rule 5 is where he would be eligible.
So he was protected from the minor league Rule 5, right?
There
he
was
our
no-
minor league player.
There's no... I don't really know if there's like a protection for it. I don't know the exact thing, but
Because he's a step above. Is it like the fringe minor leaguers that they have a Rule 5 for? Is there a level to that?
Yeah, so he
Like
is
you pick high school players essentially that aren't really major league players, or college players
pretty much
that aren't good enough for the minors. That
there's a couple stipulations that go with it, but I think the fact that he's like a AAA fringe major league guy is why he's not eligible for that. But
so you think he will definitely be? I mean, he's a damn good player. So he's got a lot of talent. He's young, so I think I'm nervous that he will get picked by another team.
I think there's a good chance.
I'm a little bit more nervous too that he's getting some recognition, albeit from a beat reporter within the Yankees organization.
He's getting wide recognition outside.
That makes me nervous because that would be so cool because I could picture him being exactly like what you said, at least in year one, like a Ryan Lamar type person, or like any of the
Greg Allen.
That's exactly what I was gonna say, Greg Allen. And if there's a Brandon Lockridge mania, and we can just bring him on easily because he's literally one of our friends, it's like that'd be fucking sick. And I hope that opportunity isn't ripped from us. And that opportunity is available, Murphy. If he isn't picked for Rule 5, we're all in. Then we have a chance.
So
he's a fantastic guy.
Murphy, go.
correct me if I'm wrong. Is it the major league roster or is it the 40-man roster?
It's the major league. So I thought it was 40-man too. You have to be on the major league roster for an entire year. You get returned.
You're 100% sure it's major
I'm
league?
100% sure.
So that bodes well for us because if it's 40-man, I feel like they give him a way more,
Exactly.
way
So
higher.
wait,
Because
so
he should be
wait,
on the unobjectively, he should be on the 40-man
So the
roster.
other-
He's got the talent for
So
it.
the other MLB team has to keep them on.
So
him on
the other
roster
MLB
for
team,
the full
again,
year.
I'll use the Tigers just because they fucking
Or the
blow.
Pirates or whatever.
The Pirates or the whatever the fuck
Honestly,
you
the
want.
Cubs nowadays.
The Cubs. No, they got Ian Happ.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, they'll be all right. They'll be all right. So
First ballot Hall of Famer, Ian.
but
This is a podcast too.
so just say he gets picked by the Tigers. If he doesn't finish the year on the Tigers or they move him down or whatever, they have to return him to the Yankees.
I think if the Pirates pick him up, I think he'll stick on the roster. So
I think
that's my
I
worry.
think that is my worry too because he's only gotten better as he's moved up the ranks. And honestly, this is good topic, not just because he's a friend of the podcast, but because he's a damn good Yankees prospect.
Yeah.
And he's one of those guys that him not getting 40-man is a huge, huge impact on the team because we don't have any fucking outfielders.
What's his rank within the Yankees?
19 last I saw, 18 or 19. But
And I feel like that'll move up so fast too.
he's been climbing them really fast. His whole thing, the only reason I think that he hasn't been there yet is because he got injured when he was on the River Dogs in low A, or maybe that's high A at the time. I don't remember. They've fucking changed the thing so many times. But when he was at the River Dogs, he got injured. He was an all-star that year, home run derby participant. He got injured, missed part of the year, whatever. Then COVID, missed a year. You lose recognition, especially as a 23, 24-year-old when COVID happens and you miss an entire season. Then this year, he was off to another hot start, got called up to Double-A, was kicking ass in Double-A, doing even better there than he was in High A. And then he got hurt again. He fucked up his knee. It's just little things like that. Yeah, I think he slid into a bag and fucked up his knee. So it's the injury things that kind of
baseball season.
It's
Yeah,
baseball.
baseball
man. I mean,
season.
that's just part of it. So I mean, he's certainly got the talent.
Moral of the story: look out for Brandon Lockridge.
Look out for
we
Brandon.
we could talk for hours on that.
I
We've
could.
already been 42 minutes into this
Should we
podcast.
give
We
him
got
his
some
own
stuff to
roll
talk
call?
about.
No, we're good. It's our first
We-
episode in like
We
2
could
months.
we could
can talk.
absolutely. We got other topics, and we got a Cole roll call to talk about.
A
But
cold call, if you will.
a Cole call.
You were so excited about that.
I was
He was waiting to
Waiting.
pull that out.
If
But
he's
yeah.
on the Yankees, I'm going to be ecstatic, not just because I'm a Brandon fan as a person.
Oh, we're getting Brandon Lockridge jerseys first day.
Oh my God! If
I
the-
might get one before the Rule 5 draft just to fucking
Bro,
speak
if
into
I get
existence.
a call that tells me that he got the call, my first thing I'm doing, I'm calling my boss, telling him I'm not coming to work. Sorry, if you're a fan of the podcast, I'm joking. Yeah, wink, wink. But I'm going down to the MLB store. I'm getting a jersey with Brandon Lockridge's
You're gonna have
number.
to probably print it yourself.
Exactly. Well, that's what the MLB store is for.
Yeah.
I'll rush
On
print
a
that
t-shirt.
motherfucker, and I'm gonna be.
You'll be the first person probably
You
ever
can't-
to have a Brandon Lockridge Yankees
You
jersey.
can't put the
goddamn
last name. Don't put the last name on the back though.
Are you kidding me? Why would I
It's
put the
sin.
last name on the back?
Just wanna
Well,
make sure.
I think if it's locked, like you should.
No.
I'm gonna
Nope.
get it autographed after the game, hanging on my wall.
Okay, that'd be
Uh-uh.
cool.
Hopefully, he wears some crazy number that nobody else wears, like 64.
Like 77.
Yeah, but I feel like there's
Yeah.
one allowance to get a lock, like the name on the back
No.
for that one.
No,
because,
there's not.
No, because then whatever, like, what if he picks a number that's not retired, but it's like
No.
I don't know, like Johnny Damon's number, and it's like, or like 11, and it's like, oh,
Rella.
what's that over there? A Brett Gardner jersey? Like, nope, it's a Brandon Lockridge jersey. That's
Rella.
actually a pretty good example too.
I don't give
because
a flying
he won't be
fuck.
retired, and he's not going
Rella.
to be on the team.
I'm
probably.
proud to tell people that's a Brandon
Rella,
Lockridge jersey.
if my firstborn son makes the Yankees, I'm not getting my last name on the back.
Hey, goddamn
I
man,
don't
brother.
care.
All right, whatever. Moving on. Speaking of prospect, Anthony Volpe is now a top 10 prospect. That's pretty cool. He's been climbing the ranks pretty fast. That's top 10 in the league, not in the Yankees. What are you doing?
I was asking for another drink
Oh, okay.
from your roommate.
Other news, just to round this out. Tyone's rehab's going well. Cohen, that was the big news here is not on the field. It's that Cohen is moving to Sunday Night Baseball with Carl Average and Eduardo Perez. Ken Rosenthal got canned, and the A-Rod K Manning cast is happening. So the big things from that is that Cohen is gonna probably, I think he said he's gonna move to around 40 games a year from 100 previously that he was doing the broadcast for. Obviously, I'm not happy about that. I really like David Cohen as announcer. Obviously, that a lot of people feel that way if he's moving to a national broadcast. I'm excited for Sunday Night Baseball to be with Cohen now. That would be fun to look forward to. Because at first I was like, oh wow, we're losing Cohen forever. Like, no, well, he is also moving to a different baseball podcast, baseball broadcast. So we get him somewhere else too. But I'm upset about it.
You know what's kind of cool about it? I will say, because I do love David Cohen, but a good thing for us as Yankee fans, more Ryan Ruocco. I love Ryan.
Yeah,
Probably does mean more Ryan Ruocco.
We got good luck with him too.
Ryan Ruocco's a fucking beast, and we do have good luck with him. I love his
Paul
calls,
O'Neill
man.
sticking around too.
Yeah.
Sticking in his basement.
Do you
we're good.
so
In
like
Ohio.
I just said with K doing the Manning cast, that's not going to cut into K, obviously, right?
No, so he has 10 ESPN things with A-Rod. I'm assuming most of them are going to be Yankees games that would be on ESPN anyway.
It's
It'll
probably,
probably
like
be
Yankees, Red Sox,
games,
yeah.
Yeah, so Yes doesn't really have the rights
Ortiz
when
will
it's a
probably be
national
on there.
broadcast. So I don't think we're missing any K from that.
We
I think
shouldn't. He's the
got-
Yankees announcer. If that see, like, I am upset that that Cohen is moving, and we're getting a little less of Cohen. But if you moved K to that, it's like, one, you can't because he's literally the Yankees guy. It'd be like moving, fucking, I don't know.
Didi Gregorius to the Phillies.
That's it. I'd be pissed, but I don't know, man.
I don't know.
It's like
I
moving
think
Joe Buck.
I'm not excited
I was
for
gonna
the
say
Manning
Joe
cast.
Buck,
I'm not excited
I'm
for the.
excited for Ruocco, man.
It's like-
I
it's
love.
like Joe
I
Buck
really,
not being
really
on
like
Thanksgiving.
I really like Ryan Ruocco.
When I think of Ryan Ruocco, I think of that Seattle game where Judge hit that goddamn knee.
I think of the Glaber Grand Slam.
I think of the Hicks catch.
Goodbye,
Yeah.
Grand
I'm
That-
a big.
that's the
I'm a
answer.
big. I'm on the.
Yeah, that was
No, I think I'm on the Glaber Grand Slam train on
The
that. one.
Grand Slam was sweet.
Against the Red Sox?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what the Seattle home run I'm talking about?
the one they hit out of the stadium,
Yeah.
or the number 100 for number 99 one, because those are two different.
The
ones.
one out of the stadium.
Good.
Number 100 for number 99 was a good one too. Ryan Ruocco is just awesome. I like Ryan Ruocco. It makes me happy because I like Ryan Ruocco because he's just like a nerdy Yankees fan like us, and he just happened to like get
Yeah.
there.
Last thing of news that I've written down here is that we have the number 1 international prospect, Roderick Arias, 17 years old. I'm with you, Damon. We said this before the
give a
air.
fuck.
Who
I'm
fucking
done
gives
giving a shit about
Can he play in
17-year-olds.
2022? That's
Yeah,
my
I give a
question.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's awesome. You want to know who doesn't have a shortstop in 22? The Major League roster.
Yeah.
Like I don't give a flying
Unless
fuck.
he can play tomorrow, I don't give a fuck.
I feel like
We've
with
got
players,
we have 3 such good shortstop prospects.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
Don't have a
fucking whoop, and
shortstop.
we're not gonna promote him, and we're not gonna play it. Like we're not gonna promote him, and we're not gonna trade him. So who fucking cares?
Literally, I'll see you in 6 years.
I feel like
let me know when he
Maybe.
plays.
we
Maybe.
should make a new rule for this and make it so like you can't even announce that you have him. You have to hide
Just
it.
hide him.
Like for Jason Dominguez, I would rather not know about Jason Dominguez for another 2 years. Like, don't even tell me that we have him. Don't even tell me he exists. Or tell me he exists and he just has to keep a secret. It's almost like, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Spider-Man No Way Home, but it's almost like Andrew Garfield on the like all of the TV and everything like that. Like, hey, are you in Spider-Man No Way Home? He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And like, if they ever ask Jason Dominguez like what team you're on, he's like, I don't know. I guess you have to find out in 4 years.
Dude, that'd be sick though.
That'd be awesome.
Imagine just
And
like
then he'll like fuck with people on social media. Like he'll accidentally do like a Bauer thing where like he'll have a link in his bio and it'll be at a store that sells like Jason Dominguez Yankees merch. It's like, oh fuck, I gotta take it down. Like, and everybody that'd be a whole thing. We should do that.
imagine how funny it would be if like
drop that in the
if like
suggestion
we've
box.
never heard of Jason Dominguez and then one day he starts playing and like the announcers are like, oh yeah, Jason Dominguez up to bat. He's supposed to be the next Mike Trout, and then we're
He's
just like,
Mike Trout.
what?
If
No way.
Mike Trout and Mickey Mantle had a kid. Here's Jason Dominguez.
Yeah, and we're like, what?
And
That's
they're
so
like,
I
He's
know.
sick.
I am pissed about Jason Dominguez because if he is not the best player in
Yeah.
Yankee history, he's a letdown.
He's so much hype built around him.
He's
like, just-
fucking 19.
Dude,
20,
is he? Is
maybe.
he?
If that.
I think he's like 18, right? I don't even fucking know.
I'm kind of glad that we treated Dominguez that way and all the hype because now it forced me to
it's a cautionary
Not give a
tale.
shit.
it
about
forced me
anyone
to
else.
quickly not give a shit about the next guy because
Yeah.
apparently this guy's good. and we'll fucking know
Cool,
in 5
great.
years
Yeah,
if
literally.
he's good. If
That's
maybe
awesome.
even more.
He's gonna be an awesome right fielder in 2031.
He's gonna
Like,
be
literally.
He's gonna be nice backup center fielder to the Brett Gardner.
Yeah,
No, he'll be
newsflash. Every
In 6
awesome,
years.
every fucking awesome athlete that comes here is a fucking shortstop. So who fucking knows, man? He's not gonna set foot on like an American baseball field with that stuff until he's like 19. So we signed him, yay, hooray! He's gonna stay there in the Yankees camps in the Dominican Republic for like 3 more years. We're not gonna hear about him, and then like 2026, we're gonna be like, oh shit. Look at that guy. He's like 20 now.
And I already
Who's
forgot
this
his
guy
name.
hitting
I already forgot his
450 on
name.
the Tampa
It's been 2
Target?
minutes.
It's Rodgers.
I already forgot.
Roderick Arias or something.
I'm gonna forget in 2 more minutes.
I think
so-
it's pronounced Arias, but I could be wrong.
It probably
Doesn't matter, I'm gonna
probably
forget.
is. I'm just like, my whole thing is I just don't. People get so excited about that stuff, and it's just sad. That I think people getting that excited about that just shows how fucking pathetic that we've been for the last few years. Like, oh yeah,
Well,
we
like,
signed
so-
we signed a kid. He's
Well,
a
it's
kid.
also the biggest news going around baseball.
If he was here right now, he would have got his driver's license a year ago.
Like it was a permit a year ago.
Yeah, a
Dude,
big
I mean, but
fucking whoop.
that's how you're going to build a farm system. We never have that good at draft
At
picks. I mean,
17
that's
years
how
old,
we've
I
been
was-
He can't even
building our
drive past
farm
9 p.m.
Bro,
in New York.
at 17, I was on my 3rd year of JV fucking baseball. I wasn't on the goddamn Yankees. Are you fucking
Third.
kidding me?
Shadow's about to make the Niceville Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I was pumping like fucking 58 off the mound at fucking 2 o'clock in the afternoon because nobody gave a fuck. Like, I'm not.
Player coach Chandler Drake.
Get out of here. No, nobody cares.
You guys want to move into
No
the
offense,
first roll
Roderick,
call
if
of the
you're a
year?
big listener.
Yeah, let's do it.
friend of the pod, great.
All right, first roll call of the year.
We love you.
Just to reiterate, we're going to try and keep it short, but we're probably not going to keep it short. So we're just going to preview everything about Garrett Cole and for a look back to everything he did last year and all that. So first thing on the list, the biggest thing that happened last year for him is he came in second in the Cy Young vote, second to Robbie Ray. He had a very good year. He was the leader of the Spider Tack Guild, and he was catching the most heat from that from players and
Josh
reporters
bitch-ass
alike,
Donaldson.
and Josh Donaldson specifically, who's a bitch. He's a very cute kid,
He
and
does.
that's fantastic for him.
Caden
So-
Cole, 2042, AL Cy Young.
So my question to you guys is, now that we've had some time, are you happy with the number 2 in Cy Young?
I'm not. I mean, no, but here's my thing. I finally have forgiven him for the wild card, and that took a lot for me. That's
Allow
big-
me to read his wild card stats to refresh the memory of everybody who doesn't
Yeah,
remember,
hurt us
because
all.
I did not remember. Honestly, I've successfully put that out of my brain.
Read that and then let me add on to it.
Cole's wild card game: 2 innings pitched, 2 home runs, 3 runs, 3 Ks, 2 walks.
So here's the thing with Garrett Cole.
In a game that we absolutely needed it.
He shouldn't have been pitching in that game, and that's evident now, and it was evident then. His pre and post injury stats, all in all, you can bitch about the Spider Tack all you want. It was negligible to his end of year stats. He was a damn good pitcher. He, in my opinion, before his injury, which was September 7th, he was the AL Cy Young front runner. I don't think he should have been pitching in that game. I still don't think he should be. He's definitely got a lot to prove now after that because he lost a lot of trust in the fans and everybody like that. And rightfully so. He's a $324 million pitcher. He should be out there as a rock. But remind you back to 2020, he was damn good in the postseason. He was damn good all year. I don't know. I'm over it now. I don't think that's the pitcher he is. I don't think Spider Tack. He learned how to pitch without Spider Tack. I don't know. I have some stats though for you if you guys are willing to listen. It's
Read 'em
a little
off.
it's a little numbersy, but it'll tell a pretty good picture. So this is pre and post injury.
What was the injury?
Injury. Remember when he fucked up his hamstring?
I meant the date.
September 7th. against the
September.
Blue Jays. Yeah. So pre-injury, and there's a couple stats here. If I get a little wordy, just tell me to shut the fuck up. ERA 2.73, 254 FIP, 12.5 Ks per 9, 6.7 K to walk ratio, 1.05 home runs per 9, 205 batting average against, and a 35.4 K percentage.
Wasn't he better than Robbie Ray in nearly every category?
He was at this point. So this is up to this point. So
Though, like over the year too.
at the end, he kind of slipped off. But so this is at this point, which we've got less than a month left of the season, right? So the Cy Young's his, it's in the bag. Then he comes out of that Blue Jays start with the hamstring, and he misses one start, and he comes back. After his injury, 6.15 ERA. This is not even including the wild card. 5.14 FIP, 9.57 K per nine, 3.1 strikeout to walk ratio. His home runs per nine increased an entire one per game. 306 batting average. That's a 100-point jump. 23.7 K percentage. That's over a 12% drop.
What's the sample for both of these?
So April 1st to September 7th.
Do you have innings?
No. I mean, his entire innings on the year, which is one.
So
I think it was 181 on the year, and he had 150 up till that. So you do the math, 30. It was like 30
So
innings.
I've got a similar one, and it's post spider tack but pre hammy. So everybody said he started off really hot, and then
Very
after the
specific
spider
range.
tack
It is.
dropped off.
Have you heard
I
of
believe
Baseball
it-
Savant by chance?
Good one.
That's almost a year ago to the day
so
that
in-
Murphy
in-
found
in
out
the-
Baseball Savant.
And it's also 10 years ago to the day that everybody else found out about it.
Yeah, no, go ahead, keep it up. Keep it up.
Let's continue.
No, so in those 13 starts, I don't have the whole background that Chandler had, but he had a 3.27 ERA, which is 0.04 points higher than his year-long ERA, and over 12 Ks per nine in that
Pretty
stretch.
damn good. I think the spider tack. So here's my thing with the spider tack, and I was talking to you guys about this before. I don't think it necessarily was a huge at the macro level. I don't think it made a huge difference. I think it made him more susceptible to blowups. When he didn't have it, he would get kind of tattooed. But he had 2 or 3 starts sprinkled in there that kind of inflated all of his numbers. But as, like I said, at the macro level, from a whole, he was pretty fucking good. And with the spider tack, the starts that he didn't have it, he was still able to dial it in. I think without the spider tack, the starts he didn't have it, it was kind of exposed. But I'll take that. I'll take a starting pitcher. I'll take my ace being an ace 30 out of 34 games. And, you know, that is what it is. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Just my thoughts on it. I don't know. I don't think spider tack's going to be a huge issue going forward.
I don't either. I wasn't even mad about the Cy Young. Like I had no
No.
I had no reaction to him not winning the Cy Young. I could
his
not give a
collapse,
shit.
after his last month collapse, he didn't deserve it, and I'll be the first one to tell you that.
It's not even that though. I think like yeah, it's part of it, but like the Yankees season just ended so poorly in my mind. Like I had such like a sour taste in the way it ended that like
It would have been like a consolation.
I really
prize.
didn't give a shit. It
No,
was,
it would have
was like a
been
pity prize.
It
at
would have
that.
been very cool had we won it, and then on top of that, we had a Cole Cy Young.
Yeah.
But it would have been a pity prize otherwise to like come out really bad after, even if you didn't have a bad wild card. Obviously, assuming we just did a little bit better there. If you won it and we didn't do shit, it's like all right, whatever. It's like, that's like something that like the Mariners would celebrate. Like we're the Yankees, we need to have more than just a guy winning the Cy Young.
Exactly.
That being said,
'Cause at the end of the
that being
day-
said, we haven't had a Cy Young in how long?
20 years more.
Since who?
I couldn't even tell you.
Gidry or something.
I think
crazy like
Gidry is
that?
the last one.
Yeah, I think
so
it was 1979.
insane.
So with that being said, it is something big that we just haven't really, I guess, been accustomed to because we haven't had it happen. Like I guess the guy who probably came closest since
Roger
Gidry,
Clemens, 01.
I was about to say
Before
Okay,
that,
the
it was
guy-
Gidry.
that's still-
Before
that's-
that, it was Gidry.
that's 21 years
Still
ago.
20 years ago.
So with that being said, the guy who probably came closest was like CC early on when he came to the Yankees, but like he didn't, and it's like that, we don't know what it's like to even be in that conversation. So I guess that's why we should be more excited about how close he came and applaud him for doing that because he's very much in the running for best pitcher in the league, and that's what we signed him to be. So if he came in second there, I guess we're putting a grade on this, which is what we're going to do with these roll call episodes, is even with that wild card blow up, I'm still putting an A+ on his season. He had a damn good season. And you agree or disagree?
No, I agree.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. No,
Because
no, no.
I,
you're
I
right.
would say it's
Even though he
I'd
didn't
say
win
it's an
Cy
A.
Young, like we brought him in to do this, and he did this.
He was
That's
great
it.
until he had that injury. He tried, and
Exactly.
obviously hindsight's 2020. He's a $300+ million guy. you want him out there. If he says he can go, you take his word for it. But at the end of the day, he shouldn't have been there. And we all know that now. Garrett Cole should not have been on the mound that day. It should have been
He
a
wouldn't have
bullpen.
been there.
It should have been a
if he didn't
bullpen
have the
game. It
contract.
should have been a Montgomery game. Anything but him. Even like I said, anybody at that point that's healthy is better. And it's so hard to say because now obviously.
Yeah, but
Well, no.
I
Here's the
don't
thing.
know.
I'm on your side. 6 months after the fact, it's easy to say it. But in the time, if Garrett Cole, one of the top 3 best pitchers, unobjectively, I think we can all agree on that, on the planet, tells you he's good to go, you take his fucking word for it. So,
Yeah.
should he have been out there? No. But are you going to tell him no? Obviously, no. You're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Garrett Cole's going to be on the mound in that game.
Because then you have the people talking about like, oh, you spent all this money and you can't even pitch in the
can't
wild
even
card.
fucking
I mean,
do
I
the
was
one
saying
game
that
wild card.
during the wild card game. I was like, I don't care if you fucking hurt, go out there and pitch. Like I'm one,
So
I'm
was
one of those
I.
assholes
right.
saying
Everybody
that.
is.
So
That's the thing. Everybody's going to do it. And if he's healthy enough and says he can, you're going to roll him out there. But now that we see the result and we look at the numbers and we're 6 months removed for it or however
he
many
should've
months,
pitched.
well, he should not have been there.
He should have pitched.
He should not have
There are
pitched.
some
He
positions.
was clearly
in
not
sports.
100%. He didn't have a good game in a month. He was clearly hurt.
I-
He should not have been there.
yeah, but that's what you pay him for, and that's why you throw him out.
I think he
there,
pitches in
and
that spot
that's-
10 times out of 10.
I
agree
agree.
with
I
that.
agree. I'm just saying, if we had all the information that we had now,
I think
and
he still pitches
Yeah, of
10
course,
times out of
but
10.
well, I know he pitches.
It's like saying if we knew we were gonna lose, we wouldn't have pitched him. Like
That's
yeah,
what I'm saying.
We're
That's exactly what I'm
gotta
saying.
be-
I'm not saying it's realistic. I'm just saying if you look at it and you realize that he's hurt and all these things, so you can never make that decision not to pitch him. No, at no point, if you ever make that decision, I mean, I would say you're fired, but apparently that's not possible on the Yankees. But you should be fired if you make that decision not to start Garrett Cole. He should be that star. That's what you pay him for. But it's easy for us to say as assholes on the couch, he shouldn't have been there that game. And I would, again, if you put me back in October 3rd or whatever day it was, I would tell you to start him. And I would make that call 100 times out of 100. But,
Yeah.
But from a pure take out the contract, take out the name. If you have player X, he's got these, player X has Y stats with this injury. Do you start him? No. But you factor in the other stuff. Obviously, you start him every single time. And that's what led to their downfall. But at the end of the day, even if they had won that fucking game, the bottom line is we weren't good enough in 2021 to win anything.
no shot.
If we had made it to ALDS, we would have been swept. Like that team,
However,
that
though,
team was
even
not good.
Even if we did make it another round, or like even like contended in the next round, like then at that point, like I could have gotten behind. You know, like I would have been a little more depressed if like Garrett Cole didn't win the Cy Young. I'm just kind of circling back here. Like if we did make it to a certain point in the season, like then maybe I would have cared a little bit more about the Cy Young. But like it really didn't phase me whatsoever.
It ended so ugly and so abrupt. It was just like, get all the baseball headlines out of my.
Like what Murph, you said 2001 Clemens won.
Yeah, 2001.
Like Yankees were in the World Series that year. They didn't win, but they were there, and that's exciting. I would have been excited if my starting pitcher won the fucking Cy Young in a World Series year.
I wonder what it's like to be in the World Series. It's been a long time.
I feel like every team that does get a Cy Young pitcher that year, the fan I'm saying, I feel like a lot of them probably feel like we do. I feel like it's always a cherry on top award.
Yeah.
If MVP is separate, MVP would be like if Judge won the MVP that year, we didn't win the World Series. That's really fucking cool.
That's great, yeah.
I don't know.
Blue Jays
That's
are
just
scary.
to me. To me, that's what I feel like. I feel like if the Padres, or a better example, like the Dodgers don't win it, but they have Scherzer win the Cy Young. I feel like they're like, yeah.
I feel like this,
kind of a participation trophy. almost.
this could be totally wrong, and like there could be no stats to back this up, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
This usually ends well.
Yeah. I feel like there's always more contenders, or like there's always more of a conversation for MVP, and there's always like less conversation regardless of Cy Young because there's less
I think you're just saying
contenders.
that because this year the names were Cole and Robbie Ray.
Probably.
I think
Rodon.
this year
Rodon was up
was
there.
Who won in 2020?
Rodon's not a big name, household name. These are two guys that came on recently. It's not because it's not names that you recognize. That's why
Well, not even that.
it seems
it's just-
diluted because it's Robbie Ray.
Who did win in 2020? I know Cole came in 4th.
I think also the MVP
Yeah,
race is so
Landon,
exciting
isn't
this
it?
year too. Not exciting because we knew what time was going to win, but like
Did Shane Bieber win?
Deserved
He
it.
did. Win.
Shane Bieber.
Yeah, he ran away with
Oh,
it.
it was Bieber.
Exactly.
So-
ran
so
away
Yeah,
with
he
it.
had an awesome
Ran
ass
away
game
with
in the
it.
wild card too.
2020 was a short year too.
Remember
but
when he just dominated the Yankees in Game 1 of the wild
I
card?
don't remember that.
Yeah, because he got cucked.
Cucked.
What a bitch!
Bitch.
That was awesome. I actually
Cucker King.
shout out to myself there. I had a men's league softball game that night.
Oh my god.
I turned off all my notifications. First time in my life I've been out of the loop of a Yankees game intentionally. I didn't have one single spoiler. Went back, watched the recording. Oh man, what a night!
Remember when Corey Kluber threw a no hitter?
Yeah,
Is
on a
Corey-
Wednesday
this
night.
isn't
I
Corey-
stand by my statement because the past like 10 Cy Young winners have been the same people.
You're right, and I'm feeling what you're
Especially
feeling.
in
This
the-
year-
DeGrom,
this year
Scherzer,
felt-
Arrieta, Kershaw,
You're looking
Kershaw.
at
What was
just
the
the
Kluber
NL.
call? A
Kershaw.
Wednesday night in Texas.
The NL, it's been like Kershaw, Scherzer, whatever. Like I feel like the NL
AL,
has more
Bieber,
repeats than the AL.
Snell, Kluber,
Remember when Snell was
Right.
good?
Kluber.
No, this year
Yeah,
for sure
Verlander.
because
Remember when Snell was good? Remember when Kluber was good? Maybe it's a curse to win in the AL.
yeah.
It is. Yeah, there we go. Spin zone. I'm glad Cole didn't win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Robbie Ray's gonna suck next year.
Yeah, he's on the Mariners.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Is he on the Mariners now?
Yeah, he got like 120.
I forgot that half of the
Well, now he's really
offseason.
gonna suck.
I forgot half the MLB offseason already happened.
Exactly. Not half, like
More than half.
90%.
It's just everybody but
You think
basically
that
Correa
it's
and
not
Story.
98% just because Correa's and Story are gonna be like.
Yeah,
worth-
side
Well,
note,
that's
what-
everybody get that out of your mind. We're not getting a big free agent.
I disagree. I think we are.
No,
we
you're
have
wrong. You're all
Do
wrong.
you- I don't know how much I want.
Oh,
either
no,
of
that's
them.
true. We are getting Andrelton Simmons.
Yeah, that'd be huge.
Yeah. That's the last thing we need is another shortstop
No,
that can't play
we
shortstop.
need a stopgap.
So expectations for Cole. I didn't have a chance to set any over unders, but I guess we could formulate some numbers here. Oh, I mean, first over under. Do you think he can win the Cy Young this year?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I don't
That's what
see-
you. If he doesn't contend for the Cy Young for 5 of the 9 years that you signed him, then he's a bust.
Yep. Okay, so I think I vote he's winning the
Is
Cy
he the
Young.
favorite?
He's probably the
He
favorite.
should be.
Gotta believe
Let's,
he's a
pull
more
up
of a favorite than
DraftKings.
Robbie Ray.
He is.
Can check.
Let's pull up. Actually, let's pull up.
Now
season
that gambling's legal in New York, I can check.
Ooh. Shout out. all
I
the
found
gambling
myself to be a
companies you
big
should
fan
sponsor.
of Caesars.
No free ads.
No free ads out here.
I'll give Caesars a free ad if they'll give me a free
Caesars
bet.
is nice, and it goes towards my hotel credits, which is cool. But no, he should be, and if he's not, he's up there. I think can he win the Cy Young? Your initial question, yes.
Yes, absolutely. Not can he? Should. If he doesn't.
I mean,
If he doesn't, is it a disappointment? That's a better question. Because I'm not disappointed. The answer is no, because I'm not disappointed in last season.
So here's the thing: I'm not disappointed. The only way I'm disappointed in Garrett Cole,
Not top 5.
I don't care about
He's-
Cy Young. I don't care about the finish in Cy Young. I care about does he go out there and put up an ace stat line?
Well, I think Garrett Cole with his name, if he puts up an A stat line, it goes hand in hand.
no,
That's what I'm saying. It goes hand in
you're right,
hand.
you're
If he
right.
doesn't top 5, he didn't have his A stuff because
You're-
he's Garrett Cole.
You're right, but at the end of the day, I don't. The Cy Young finish to me means nothing in regards to whether it's a successful season or not. If he goes out there and he's giving me 5, 6, 7 innings, striking out people, he's hovering somewhere in the mid to upper 2s ERA, I'm happy. He can finish 20th in Cy Young. I don't give a fuck. As
But
long as
my point is that's not
you're
what
right.
happened.
You're right. I'm just saying, don't judge whether or not he's Garrett Cole and Cy Young. Yes, it'd be awesome. Yes, he probably needs to be up there, and if he does well, he will be up there.
That's what I mean.
But don't judge whether or not his season was a success based on his Cy Young finish.
I'm going to because
I'm not.
because of the
I
reason
don't
that
care about
because the
individual
reason that he
accolades.
no, it's not about that. It's what I was saying before. If he has a good year, he will be. So that's it. Those two things are very directly correlated. So that's why I'm saying that.
But
So,
also on the flip side of that, baseball writers are not looking to do the Yankees any favors.
to be top 5 in something is bias aside.
That's
It's for the top vote. Over under. What was his strikeouts this year?
He had a 12.09 K per night.
That's
He had 243 Ks,
That's
but
the
he
number I'm
also
looking for.
missed a couple starts.
Do you think over under that number?
I think if he's healthy, it's way over.
What
I
was it?
agree.
What were his numbers in Houston that year? He broke the record for the
think
Houston
he had-
strikeouts.
He had over
300?
300.
He had over 300.
That's so many strikeouts. Do you think he
So
can? Do you think he can do that again?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, no
I don't
shot,
think he's
Murphy.
gonna. I don't think he's gonna stay healthy enough to do that.
How?
He's healthy,
He's been
sure.
healthy his
That's
whole
crazy.
career.
You're
He's been
reading into
healthy,
one
but
thing.
yeah, okay, you have to A, stay healthy, and B, pitch out of your mind the whole year. Like people don't
That's what
throw
you're paying
300
him for.
strikeouts willy nilly. I agree. If he throws 300, great. I think the odds are not in his favor to throw 300.
What would you
I
put
think
the
that's
odds
icing
at,
on the
Murphy?
cake. 280.
Minus 280.
No. I'm saying 280 would be the over under.
Plus, no. What would you put the odds
That
that
would
he
be-
gets over 300?
I don't know, plus 150.
That's pretty good odds.
I'll take those odds all day.
Plus 150.
I mean, yeah, it's not like plus 300. Like I'm just saying, I don't.
Can I
think
parlay that?
necessarily
I'd
would
lay
be-
that. Same game parlay.
Can I
Well, the over-
parlay
is-
that?
That was the worst.
I
thing
think
that's
the
ever-
over-under
that
is
was a
somewhere
huge
bet-
life event that happened.
What?
Sports gambling becoming legal in New York.
Yeah, if you're in the New York area,
hell yeah.
you've obviously seen the promos, and
We've been using them here.
Boys been hard.
We've been Sunday hunkered down here. Just
I said after the promos, after all the free money that they gave me, that I would stop gambling. I've been putting a same game parlay in nearly every Sunday.
You
I
know
have
what
that
they
$10
say?
credit. We
That's
need
how
to get a
they eat.
whiteboard out here, and we need to put
That
together
is
the
how they get
greasiest
ya.
parlay ever.
done.
Oh, I
Greasy
forgot about
parlays.
Chandlers
Those got to
for
be. We
Sunday.
should
Those
have
were
just
fun.
kept doing that.
Actually, whenever you guys stopped doing them, I went like 6 in a row.
Chandler, who you got winning the Super Bowl?
Oh,
Hope the Rams win, or Joey Burrow.
I could see.
My
honestly-
gut says Rams, so I know it's not the Rams.
No, I'm thinking either Chiefs. Maybe it's 49ers. I think the 49ers are scary.
I
There's no
disagree.
way the Bengals are going to be in the Super Bowl, right?
No way.
I
I
hope
hope they are.
I hope
Like,
they are,
there's
but I think Mahomes is going to
absolutely no
just
way.
slaughter them.
Joe Burrow is one cool motherfucker, man.
Yeah.
Dude, their offensive line isn't good enough.
Got
There's no way.
sacked 9 times and still
Yeah,
Nine
he
times,
threw
still won a
fucking
playoff game.
Yeah, but you
300
can't.
yards.
Yeah, bro. If you get sacked 9 times and you go off
can't
and
do
face the
that.
Rams with that defensive line,
he would get
Oh,
slaughtered.
no. Well,
You're
they're
gonna
not
get
going to have to
sacked
face the
15
Rams
times
if
and lose.
if they get to the Super Bowl, yeah.
Joe Burrow's
If they get
got
to the Super Bowl, they're not
fucking
going to win. There's no
brass
way.
nuts. Dudes, I like Joe Burrow. I don't think they're going to make it there. I think the 49ers are sneaky. I do. We talked about it before.
I
the
can
playoffs
I can
started.
agree with that. I see the 49ers in the Super Bowl over the Bengals for sure. I don't
All
think
right, agreed.
the Bengals can get
Yeah.
there.
Lay
I
that
think the
juice.
Bengals are very good, and I think if they get an offensive line, then they could be there. But they don't. Their line's not good.
They're a good
I'll lay
feel-good
that.
story.
Honestly, that'd be a good bet to place. Niners to make the Super Bowl.
Probably not
I
because
mean, probably
game
plus
left.
what?
That'd be
It's
that'd be,
basically
that'd be
just
just the
betting on your
odds on
money
the
line.
You're
Niners.
just betting money line
No,
for
you,
one game.
you know,
It's like
really,
plus
you know what you
150,
should do?
like Murph said.
If you're
Yeah.
sneaky on the Niners to make the Super Bowl, take Chiefs over Niners. in
or
the
take
Super Bowl,
Niners over
exacta.
Chiefs if you want to get a little sexy.
Or take Niners over Chiefs exacta. I see.
Exacta.
I thought I was being the man, and I took Bills over Bucks
How's that
and
working?
Bucks over Bills, and it sucks now.
What?
'cause I lost money, but that could have been. I thought I was.
that was a
genius.
good ass game. That Bills
As an
Chiefs.
upstate New York guy, I'm a Jets fan, but I have a huge place in my heart for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
far are you
that
from
was,
Buffalo?
That was sad.
5 hours.
Ooh, right around the corner.
I'm
Hop,
closer
skip,
to
and
the
jump
city.
away.
I'm closer to the city than I am to Buffalo, but Buffalo just embodies upstate.
Dude, New York is so big.
I should have
you
been a Bills
no
fan.
idea.
I feel like everybody from upstate should be a Bills fan, and I say that as a Jets fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I don't want to switch now that they're good. If they're bad again and the Jets are good, then maybe I'll switch.
And given another 25 years for the Jets to be good, Murph.
You just need another
Yeah,
Mark
no.
Sanchez. Lightning in a bottle, brother.
All right, I think that'll do it for me for this episode. Unless you guys have anything else to chat about. This was
no.
fun. This
It
was a lot of fun.
I missed it.
Good to be back. Very good to be back. If you guys enjoyed this episode, as always, leave a 5-star review on iTunes. We could really use the help. Those help us out a ton. Those push us out to more ears. So they've made your ears. You like us. Help us. Help other people. What I said.
Help me help you.
Help me help you. Help us help other people by
Good scrubs.
putting them to our
People
podcast.
helping people. That's what it's all about.
Yeah,
Can
if
we
you
set
if
a
you want
goal
if you want
for
hold on,
some-
if you want to listen to this podcast, check us out on iTunes and Spotify. If you want to watch this podcast, it's on YouTube. Type in Bronx Pinstripes on YouTube, you'll find us there. We do them live the night before, so you'll catch us live right now. You can check us in
Watching
the
it's a lot of
comments.
fun.
Watching it's a lot of fun. Subscribe to the YouTube. If you want to check it out not live and get it the next day, we post them the morning of the next day. Today we're recording on Thursday. We're going to post it on Friday. You'll get that in the regular podcast platforms, as well as you can watch the replay on YouTube anytime you want. But that's where you could find us. Love you guys. What did you say? Set a goal?
Can we set another baseball eating goal for the new year?
Yeah, what do we have current reviews?
I feel like that didn't get the people going enough. Eating
If
a
we get
baseball.
2
We tried
more
really hard to
reviews,
do
Rella
that.
will eat a baseball.
I mean, that will break my teeth. I'd rather if I'm gonna break my teeth, I want some more reviews out of it at least.
I think we need to set something that's like realistic.
By the beginning of the season.
If we get 300,
Well, we don't know when that is.
If we get 300 by the beginning of the season,
What are we at?
259.
That's a lofty goal.
It's not that much,
That's not a lot.
It's a
If we get to
lofty goal,
300 by
Drew.
the beginning of the season, I'll eat a baseball.
but I
Deal.
don't.
That's balls
Put
in their
that-
court.
I know we've been saying that for a while. I just think
Yeah.
baseball eating
Ball's
isn't
always
getting
been at their court.
baseball eating
you
hasn't
can't-
getting people going too much.
No, it's true.
Maybe
Damon's
eat a
gonna
bucket.
streak at a.
I think they just
Yankee
don't
game.
realize that eating a baseball would literally break my teeth.
Yeah,
Try a bat, maybe.
I don't think anybody believes you. I think that's a little unrealistic.
I'll eat a
Yeah, that's what
bat.
I'm saying.
I'll eat something
How about
crazy.
this? You have to eat 100 mozzarella sticks in 10 minutes.
I'll eat a ghost pepper.
I'll do that. That's my Friday night, Chandler.
What's the hottest pepper? I'll do that in a live stream
No, what-
at the beginning of one of our
What's that
episodes.
one that people are doing as like fantasy football punishments? Like you gotta something at Buffalo
The
Wild
Buffalo
Wings.
Wild Wings like
Oh,
nuclear challenge or
yeah,
whatever.
that's not
Yeah.
fun. I've done that. It's not.
Oh,
No,
spe-
let's do that.
It's not
Yeah,
called
if
nuclear.
we do
It's
that,
called
Blazing.
the Blazing
Rella will
Challenge.
stand at
He has
Times
to do-
Square in a dress with a
Yes.
sign.
Nobody
that
wants to see
says,
that.
I got
Speaking of-
300 reviews.
They won't know what that is. I'll just say it's a fantasy football
You gotta go
losers
eat
thing.
the
Speaking of the fantasy football loser thing, we had a fun one for our league. It's the
Is he gonna do it?
it's the IHOP challenge. So it's you. Have you heard of this, Murphy? I know Damon
It's
has.
the Waffle House challenge. But
Same
yeah.
thing, Waffle House challenge, but it's
Seem
not,
really
it's not-
scared on
It's
that.
not at a Waffle House. It's at IHOP.
I feel like it's worse at Waffle House than IHOP.
Waffle House
makes
is a
it
great
better.
place. Don't shit on
Oh, I
it.
didn't know Waffle House.
I'm
was
not.
a thing.
I am not
Waffle House
slandering
is
Waffle House,
disgusting.
Chandler.
Dude, I saw.
Wait.
I saw a
Regardless,
video the other day.
the rules of this challenge, if you haven't heard it before, are you're there for 24 hours. You have to sit, park your ass at Waffle House or IHOP, and you get 1 hour taken off of that 24 hours for every pancake or waffle that you eat.
I saw a TikTok.
So if
the other
you-
day.
if you
I'll
had
do
to-
that if we get
No.
300 reviews.
So if you eat 12,
Right,
you stay for
so-
12 hours.
I
I'll
saw a
do that.
TikTok
Okay.
the other day. This kid did that because he lost his fantasy thing. He had a fucking stroke because he ate. Too
Yeah,
many
I saw that too. I thought that was a Buffalo Wild Wings one.
No,
though.
that
Or I
was-
could be
th-
wrong.
I saw
that
both.
Was, that was
There was-
Waffle House.
No, there was one of each. One, the kid had to go to the
Okay.
hospital for the wings, and the other kid had a stroke because he ate too much.
Legitimate
I'll
stroke.
eat a
Yeah,
ghost
stroke.
pepper raw.
I mean, how many pancakes do you
He
have?
tried to eat 24. Like, he didn't
So
That's his fault.
realistically,
pace himself.
Rella,
pace
realistically, how many hours are you spending in that Waffle House?
I think I would spend
6.
I was
Probably
six was
six.
in my head.
probably
Six
6.
I'm out of
I can eat a lot.
What's that? 4 per hour? You
I don't
could
think
do
I can eat 24, nor would you have to because you can't eat 24.
Oh, you
in
would.
an
I
hour.
guess you wouldn't have to. So
You
would
wouldn't
have
eat
to
24
eat
the-
eight-
the-
you would have to eat 18.
Yeah, I could do
That's
that.
so doable.
Yeah.
What's that? 3 an hour? 6
That's
hours?
my
Yeah.
Sunday night.
And 3 an hour and
Yeah.
6.
Oh
for
my
6
god,
hours.
that's so cash. I'm out of there in 2 hours.
Yeah, but you're gonna hit a wall.
No, I'm not.
Can you
If you
throw up?
look at me.
Next episode, we're gonna live stream us while Chandler's off to the side eating 18. The entire time we're here,
If
that'll
the
be
Yankees
how we
win the
decide
World
a pace.
Series, do we all do it?
Sure,
No, if the Yankees win the World Series,
That's
I'm
a
going
goal.
to Vegas.
we'll do that. But we'll do the
Facts.
Waffle House challenge in Vegas.
In Vegas.
yeah. Okay, and then
They,
put it all
they
on
don't
black.
have Waffle House in Vegas.
They'll have something. They have an IHOP.
We'll
for
go to
sure.
Sugar Factory. You have to drink a goblet.
Those are very sugary. Sugar
awful.
Factory.
Yeah, you
we
have to
should
have
make a new
20
challenge.
you have to
The
to-
Sugar
24
Factory
goblets.
challenge is you have to have 24 goblets in 24 hours.
You would literally die after
You would
like
die.
3.
Okay, that's it for us. We're talking about nonsense, but this is peak lockout talk. So if you enjoyed this, I'm happy for you.
Expect more of this next
if you
week.
if you didn't, I don't know what to tell you.
Are we back to our regularly scheduled program?
This is back to your regular scheduled program. So every Friday you're gonna get a new episode. Well,
We
actually,
got to do the lockout schedule.
for the scheduling for roll calls, how we do these going forward is we do them more frequently because our regular schedule for episodes, as you know, if you've been around here a while, are during the season is Tuesdays and Fridays. Off season just on Fridays, like it is now. As we get closer to the season, in the spring training area and a little bit before that, that's when the roll calls start. So like close to, we're just doing it now a little earlier so we could space them out a little bit. So I think at first we're gonna start out once a week with the roll call, and then as it gets closer, we'll ramp it up to twice a week, and then really close 3 times a week, and then finally like the last week, I think we do one every day, leading up to the start of the season. Obviously mixed in with some spring training talk and such, but that is the schedule subject to change going forward. But wanted to let the folks know about that. And yeah, that's all I have.
All right, folks.
All right, that's all.